What's going on, everyone? Gilman with the Wellthy Stocks, back with our Tesla update video, ticker symbol TSLA, where we take a look at how Tesla stock traded today, key levels of support and resistance that we are looking at moving into the future, and based on that, what we think Tesla stock could do. So real quick, if you enjoy videos like this, don't forget to hit that like button down below, subscribe to my channel if you are new, and comment down below what your thoughts on Tesla are, and I'd love to chat with you guys down there. So let me go ahead and hit record on my screen, and we'll see that Tesla had an absolutely crazy green day today, you guys. Over $110 on the day. We're up almost 20%, and I'm not talking about a random company that you haven't heard of before. I'm talking about Tesla, a company that's in the S&P 500. So crazy move by Tesla, keeps moving up in the after hours. So nice to see that continuation happen. Great push today. It actually snapped a 5-day losing streak, jumped the most it has in a year, right? $110, 20% pretty much. And it wiped out kind of the previous 5 days of selling. So not only did it break the 5-day losing streak, it also recovered everything that it had lost over those days. So let's take a look at how it traded today. We'll talk about future levels of support and resistance, and then we'll take a look at where it could go from here. So what I want to do is take a look here. So yesterday, we were not looking too great. We were hovering below the 560 level, and talked about, potential downside, potential upside, as we saw with the NASDAQ and the QQQs. What we saw with futures, though, were looking pretty good, and so we pushed up. There's a couple reasons for that. The first thing that I want to cover real quick is, and none of these were, exactly things that I think one to one led to the great push that we saw today, but at the same time, they could have definitely helped in the situation. The first thing is that the bond yield was down to 1.55% from 1.6 in the previous week. I think we've seen that go up and down, so I don't necessarily think that was big news. The other news was 1.9 trillion coronavirus stimulus plan goes to the House tomorrow, but again, we knew that ahead of time, so I don't think that magically helped with anything. And then the other thing that this article talks about is how people are looking to spend their stimulus checks. Excuse me, I'm trying to talk too fast. So when we get that, and hopefully it passes in the House tomorrow, when we get that, right, how are people going to spend that money that they get with the stimulus? And if we just type in equities in this, what we'll see is, it talks about how people are going to be spending some of that money. A lot of people, so 18 to 24, are going to put 40%, 35 to 54, 37%, over 55, 16%, right? So this amount of money that, if we scroll down on this article, it can lead to a whole lot of money going into the stock market, right? So if you take kind of that age group that I talked about, you add them all up, we're talking a potential $150 billion that could go into the stock market, right? So absolutely great news. More money flowing into the market, more buying coming in could help lead the stock market up again. The other thing is, this analyst came out and raised the price target to $900. Sell-off in Tesla is only short term, and the company will continue to do well long term, which is something that I agree with, right? It's Tesla we're talking about. They've kind of changed the way that EVs work, and kind of really shown other car makers that, hey, here's what you need to do to not get left behind. And I think that they're one of the leaders in this space. How long they continue to hold this leadership space, right? Because we've got a lot of big players like GM, Ford, Toyota, right, working a lot on the electric vehicle side. Remains yet to be seen, but until then we can kind of be assured that Tesla is not going anywhere anytime soon. So with that, great $110 day. If you bought in Tesla yesterday, congrats, you're already up 20% in a day. If you bought a lot of stocks yesterday, congrats, you are up a lot in a day. But don't let this fool you, right? Don't have FOMO, stick to your trade plan. Let's take a look at how it traded today. So we opened here, we kind of went right back to our 596 level, bounced, took off, got to our 614 level. We took a little breather here, and then we broke through 634, pushed, and then 643, right? We pushed up, broke it. As you can see, we kind of took a little bit, gathered momentum to again rally, bounce off of our 671 level, 672 level, came back and then pushed up towards our 678 level. And then we came right back down to test our 658 level here, right? That's one of our levels, 657. Then we pushed up into the close and we were around the 670, 672 level. Continuing to push up after hours towards our 690s price point. So let's take a look at the daily chart and we'll see what we see. Crazy trading action for Tesla. As you can see, right, the past 5 days had been declining, and then today's green candle kind of takes us pretty close to where that is. So let's take a look at some of those. So what do we have coming up for Tesla next? Let's talk about that, and then we'll take a look at the overall market as well. So the first thing we need to do right now, if we keep going up, is that 694, 696, and then, eventually 700 mark. So that's what I'm watching next, how it reacts at the 700 mark. I do think we're going to need a little bit of momentum, but once we get through 700, then we've got 716, 732, and 749. And then on the downside, right, we've got the low 670s that, is going to be my first line of support, 658, and then the 641 level. Good news is, we've pushed up $110 and overall looked very, very strong on the day. But that being said, right, a little bit of profit taking is healthy. So if we see that tomorrow, maybe a little bit of pullback, $10, $20, and then we start pushing up, it would not surprise me. Pullbacks are normal, profit taking is healthy, and it should happen in the market. We shouldn't just keep going up, 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 because that could mean we go down just as fast, right? So a little bit of profit taking is healthy. Would not be surprised if we see that happen. But my goal for Tesla would kind of be to break the 700s and push towards kind of the 716, 732 sometime this week if we see the momentum continue, and then we can establish that, and that would put us at, that would put us above a lot of the support levels, right? So the first level of support we had was this 89 EMA, which was, let me get rid of the drawings here so we could see a little bit better. Hide all drawings. Yeah, so this is the key here, you guys. That 89 EMA is at 669. So hopefully, if we dip tomorrow, we don't dip beyond the 89. And if we do, then the 8 EMA, which is at 649, holds. And hopefully we can keep closing above the 89 EMA at 669 now that we are above that level. So that's what I'm hoping for, closing above 669, pushing towards the 20s, 30s, in the second half of this week. Definitely doable, but understand that we are up $120 today, so maybe we pull back a little bit before we pull up. Let's take a look at the QQQs and I'll share what I see here. So you guys remember that, I was talking about this $300 line, and the reason I was talking about that is because we, going back as far as, no, that's not what I wanted. I want the drawings, but not the EMAs. There we go. And the reason that this is really important is because here in September, mid-October, mid-November, right, we were hitting the 300.3 times before we finally broke through, and even then we came back and we bounced, right? So to break below 300 could have been really bad. It gives us run room down to, not 300, but really 298. Gives us run room down to 294 and 288. But not only that, we'd maybe struggle to break above the 300 level again. So I'm really happy. Based on the way we closed yesterday, right at that level, it wasn't looking too good, but futures were good and we gapped up, which was absolutely great to see. And now we are starting to push up. I want to just be cautious still, at least for me. Today's the first day, again, taking a look the past 3 days. And you take a look at this line here, right, that's coming in. We were rejected by it. We couldn't close above it. Today's the first day we've closed above it, so I'm monitoring this to make sure we close above the 89 EMA on the daily as well. And then the same thing with the S&P 500. What I'm watching there is, the fact that we again struggled at the 390 level on the S&P 500. If I go on the hourly chart, sorry, there's a lot that I want to share with you guys, and I want to make sure that I do it. So if we scroll out here, right, you take a look at this kind of diagonal line here. We were making lower highs over time, right? Every time we try to come up, we were not able to go as high as before even. And today we finally broke out of that, which is great to see. That's what we want to see, right? Breaking that downtrend, making a higher high finally. So that's what this line is here. But, another key thing to look at is this line here is at 390, which we struggled to break through a couple times last week, a few times even before that. And today as well. And then once we get through that, I think our next level of resistance is coming up at 392. So those are some pretty strong levels of resistance that we need to break through. So until S&P can do that, anything can happen, in my opinion, which is why I'm closely watching that. We got rejected today. We could still move up slowly until we get to those levels, but I'm really watching closely to see what we do at those levels, because I think that'll determine if we keep pushing up and the pullback is done, or if we see more red to come. So that's all I had for you guys today. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, don't forget to drop a like, subscribe to my channel, comment down below what your thoughts on Tesla are, and I'd love to chat with you guys down there. I shared some other pieces of news with Tesla in my previous videos, right? They're looking good in Japan with the Model 3 orders after the price cut. Other pieces of news that came out. So there's a lot of things happening with Tesla. Really excited to see the stock finally pull up. Hopefully it's a steady climb up and not these massive moves that we've seen. So that's all I had for you guys today. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, don't forget to drop a like, subscribe. Let's remember to be a bit better every single day, and until next time.